Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of Scream City? Never mind, I think I found it.
Hello, horror freaks. Welcome back to Scream City. I'm your host, Jessica.
And I'm Monica. And today we are talking about the 2014 film Last Shift.
Yes, but of course, right before we get into the actual movie, let's start with our peek and pit. So, Monica, do you have a peek and pit for these past few days?
I do. So for this week, my peek is going to be that I watched this new movie with my family. Mm-hmm. It's called Huesera. Mm-hmm. We were trying to find something to watch. And it took forever, as you can imagine, trying to choose a movie between 4 people. And we ended up on the Rotten Tomatoes, mm-hmm. Most high rated movies for 2023. And we watched the first one that has a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. And it's called Huesera, and it's a Mexican movie. It was so good, very creepy. Highly recommend. I went home creeped out.
Yay.
And we love that. Mm-hmm. So that is my peak. I love being introduced to new movies, whether they're horror or not, any type of movie that I just end up loving. So that's a good peak. My pit is that the movie training company that is by my apartment is closing.
Boo.
In literally 5 days, and I'm very sad.
Sucks.
We were thinking they would have some type of sale, but I mean, there's quite a few locations of movie trading company, as one can imagine, so they're just moving their inventory. So that's my pit and my peak. What about yours?
My peak is I started training for the new position that I got at work, mm-hmm. So that's exciting. And my pit, this is always gonna be work related, maybe, but my pit is, I got really overwhelmed at work on the other day, mm-hmm. and I hated it so much because I felt like everyone was mad at me.
Right.
But yeah, that's
work do be dreadful sometimes. Some days, but that's all right. The next day is a new day, or whatever positive people say. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. So leaving that behind, moving a little forward with our episode. So finally getting into the movie. So like we mentioned in every episode, there will be spoilers, so don't say that we did not warn you. Now, to give a brief synopsis for this movie, and coming straight from Google as always. After a rookie cop, Jessica, Lauren, is assigned the last shift at a transitioning police station, she must wait for a hazardous materials crew to pick up biomedical evidence. However, the shift turns into a living nightmare. Interesting.
Love that.
Right?
I will say, I mean, we'll probably get into it a little bit later, but I love how this movie has a character named Jessica.
Okay.
And Monica.
Oh, there is a Monica in this. That is so hilarious. I don't think I picked up on that because she's obviously not a main character, but
she's not. I noticed it obviously the first time I heard the name Monica.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, hold on.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. That is so funny. Okay.
I love that.
Love getting that.
But anyway, now that we have that out of the way, Monica, what was your first impression watching this film for the first time, and what would you say is your favorite scene and kill?
So I watched this movie not too long ago, maybe a month ago or so. So this movie has been on my TBW, to be watched, for a long time, but I just never got around to it until recently. Now, I wasn't confused after the movie. I was just kind of okay. And then I sat with it for a little bit. So after a while, I was a little rattled, but for a portion of the night, because I really did think that I would see the girl that we see crawling towards the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. There's just something about people who crawl that creep me out so bad. Mm-hmm. And I hate it so much, but I also love it.
There's a, I don't know if you've ever read The Yellow Wallpaper.
Yes.
But at the end of that, I guess it's a spoiler alert for the story too.
For those who have not read
but,
The Yellow Wallpaper, but it's really good.
Yeah. At the end of that story, she has completely, gone crazy or whatever. And she says I started to creep around and
I'm like, why would you creep anywhere?
The visual itself is just so creepy.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I agree. crawling is just
like crawling in any way, and like we see it in a lot of horror films, and like people who do what is it called, basically like acrobat, but what's
contortion? Contortionist?
Yeah, that.
I will say, at haunted houses, when there's something chasing me or crawling close to me, hell no. Hell
There's something,
no.
okay, being chased is one thing, but then like being crawled to and like chased by a crawler is something so much more worse, and like fear. And I don't know. The
back of my mind, I know that it's just an actor, you know, and just like he's just like a normal human being,
but it's so
trying to get
the way
paid.
That they crawl.
But in my like, there's another part of me in my mind when I'm experiencing this that I'm like, oh my god, he's going to, or they're going to kill me.
I don't know.
Like,
I think I don't know what it is, because I mean, chasing is chasing. Being chased point blank is terrifying, but then like seeing someone crawl on their legs or arms or hands or anything like that is really creepy. And so I that's what I kind of left with after the movie. So I was still rattled by it, and it did its job. So that's where, you know, give credit where it's due. So I liked it. After watching it, I was kind of like, okay, all right, yep, it got me. So the scene, I like the scene for favorite scene. The one where the cop is, which I don't remember his name. It was her. It ended up being her dad's partner.
Yeah.
But he ends up and comes in to visit her, like, you know, catches up on like conversation and has like this whole moment with her where it kind of seems like it's also flirting or like being just extremely nice. But then we just find out that he's dead. Like he ends up being a ghost that she is having interaction with, and it's extremely creepy and honestly sad.
Yes.
And I just like it because it kind of keeps you on your toes on like, oh, she's actually not talking to these people, or what is she actually seeing? What's real and what's not?
Yeah.
Now as far as favorite kill, we don't have a lot of favorite kills in this, at least not the type of like slasher kills or anything. But we kind of get like two, because we kind of see how Payman ends up sacrificing his, like, you know, I don't know if it's his daughters, or I can't remember exactly what it is, but the girls that are also roaming like the police station. We kind of see how they die, but then we also see how the biomedical crew, or like the hazardous crew, ends up dying.
Yes.
And that's extremely sad. So I'm going to have to go with their kill. One, because there's only 1 out of 2. But then 2, like, I like how they portray her as the victim the entire movie, obviously, because she's being possessed, I'm assuming.
Right.
And then I just like the really quick flip of being like, oh my gosh, like, she's experiencing when the cult people died and all of that stuff, and then but it turns out that she's like killing the hazardous crew. So that was really sad, but also really interesting to watch, because you like a little bit of a twist.
Right.
So yeah, but overall I liked it. I thought it was good. It did its job. I think it got the word, not the word, but the vibe of a cult like pretty good.
Yeah.
So I liked it. What about you?
So first impression, fun fact, I actually watched it for the first time last night.
Yeah.
At like 1 a.m.
Love.
And I didn't do that on purpose. It's just that I took a really long nap, and I was like, shit, I need to watch this movie.
I need to wake up and I need to watch this movie.
Yeah, I need to watch this movie. And so 1 a.m. I just woke up. I was pretty scared, right? But yeah, no, I don't have, honestly, any big complaints.
I don't either. Like, I mean, is it a groundbreaking like movie that's going to make my top 5? Like, no, but I think for
it to be a low budget movie, in 2014, I think it did its job.
And it did really good. I will say I saw the rating for it today for Rotten Tomatoes, and it's at 99. And I remember looking at the rating in like a month ago or 2 months ago when I first watched it. It was not that high. Yeah. So I don't know what's changing. I don't know how many people are throwing in there.
Maybe because Malum is coming out. Come out, yeah. And people are like, oh, well, let me watch The Last of Us for the first time. And again, like I mentioned, and I probably will, I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
I thought it was creepy.
I think like I said, I think it has, I feel like, not just a horror element, but it has like thriller, and it also has psychological. And mystery to it. And there's something also really scary about cults.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I feel like, again, we mentioned this in a lot of the episodes, but like there's different versions of horror. Like you have possession, you have cults, you have slasher, you have like all these kind of different things that can be considered horror. And I think a cult and like possession are two of the most scariest, because there are things that you can't see, and there are things that can definitely brainwash you. And it's not just a like, if I get out of here I can survive, because you know, you get brainwashed, and you get so, I don't know, spiraled into thinking one thing when you're seeing something else. So I don't know, and I think that's what makes this specific movie good, because of that twist that we get at the end. I think, I don't know,
I will say I haven't watched a paranormal / possession movie in a long time. And I think this was a pretty good way to kind of ease back in.
Okay.
I've been kind of on a slasher thing recently.
Something comforting about slasher, surprisingly, right?
Yeah. And yes, you are right. This movie does have psychological elements in it. And I will say there were moments where I was like, fuck, I hate this.
I don't wanna know.
Because I hate being gaslit. I hate the feeling of being
Don't
gaslit.
you gaslight me like that.
And oh my God. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. We'll get into this a little bit later, but I think the actress who plays Jessica,
like the main girl,
she did a phenomenal job.
She plays scared very well.
I think she did really good.
I think so too.
But yeah, favorite scene. This is sort of like getting maybe towards the middle of the movie, but I think this is a little bit after that man appears and he's like peeing on the floor.
Oh my gosh, yes.
First of all,
I will say, I feel like that's, well, I could be wrong. I didn't do my research, but I feel like that's one of the things that went unanswered. Who was he?
I don't know.
Like, was he just like a homeless man?
I think he is
that was roaming in and out, and was kind of like, because he ends up dying. Right? Because she ends up putting him in the cell.
Right.
And then I think he ends up being sacrificed by Paymans, like...
Yeah.
If I'm correct. Yeah.
Something like that.
But
I do think he was just like a overall like real human.
So that's what I was saying. So maybe he was kind of like the first sign of splitting reality versus like, I guess whatever else that she, like her possession or the hauntings that we were experiencing with her. So maybe he was supposed to be that split of like, hey, this person's real, and then this one is not.
Right.
So, okay.
But again, I think, I literally don't remember. It was either before or after she mopped, she went to the locker room.
Yes.
And she opens locker number 25, which is, I assume, her dad's locker.
Like old locker.
And she puts the picture back in the locker. Like she was gonna put it in her holster, and then she put it back in the locker, and then she just like turns around, and every single locker is open.
Oh yes,
that was very subtle, and it freaked me the fuck out. I hated it. That was a subtle jump scare.
You were like, oh,
and I was like, hell nah.
Nope.
Yeah, I will say there were obviously it's kind of hard to ignore. Like it's kind of hard to not have jump scares in a movie,
right?
But the jump scares didn't really scare me.
No,
I don't know if it's just because I'm at this point just maybe desensitized to jump scares. But I will say they were really good. And for me to have watched it at like 1 a.m, I didn't really feel. I was like but that locker one, like
subtle
me
but worked
up. I was like, hell nah. No, I was like, I paused. And I was like, I can't continue to watch.
I don't want to go on.
Yeah.
It's like 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I agree. I do think that this movie has some jump scares in it that I feel like maybe some got me, some didn't. I feel like I know when to expect them, but they still get to me.
Right.
I'm a very also jumpy person.
Yeah.
Like even in person, I am the easiest person to scare.
Yeah.
Which is like funny. But then, like, I hate it because it's just
I love it.
It's not anything new.
It's funny.
Okay.
It's very funny.
Yeah, it's Yeah, so I can see that.
Yeah.
What about do you have a favorite kill?
Yeah. Well, I mean, kind of like you mentioned,
We don't have too many.
we don't have too many, but I will say I'll also go with the cleaning crew because that is so sad.
It is really sad because I think what made it worse and what made me feel bad about the kill is that he was begging.
Yeah.
And like when people start begging,
yes.
and like she's not there, obviously.
Yeah.
Like she's completely possessed, and she's like by one of the girls or whoever's making her do all of these killings.
Well, my thing is like, is she just having hallucinations?
Well, that's what I meant. I guess maybe not. Maybe possession is the wrong word, but
Yeah.
maybe it's the hallucinations that she was
Yeah.
experiencing from the hauntings. But what I liked about that overall scene is that, like, I couldn't even pinpoint of when it started because all I remember is her basically chasing all of these people that she thought were, the people from the cult. And she was just chasing them around the police station and she was shooting at them. She was killing them, thinking that we also thought as the watchers, like, that she was like,
Yeah.
hell yeah, like,
Yeah.
kill them. And then just to find out she was killing the crew.
That
And
is
that's so fucking sad.
So fucked up.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. So,
And then she gets shot.
yeah. I mean, like, well deserved, but like, damn, girl. On her first and last shift. Imagine.
Tell me about it. My question is, the Sergeant Cohen,
Yes.
when the movie ends and like the girls and everything, they kind of like put a bag over her head.
Oh, yeah.
Can he see that? Like, is he?
I'm going to assume he was real.
I do
Like,
think
no, he was
Sergeant
real.
Cohen was real.
Right. But can he
But
see what was going on?
Can he, number one, can he see what's going on? Number two, was he in on it? Not like in on it, but was he like also
Like, he kind of
evil?
knew.
Yeah.
Right.
Or number three, did he just like not see anything?
I feel like this is okay. Now that we're kind of putting that out on the table, I feel like maybe this is my complaint about the movie: is that there's a few unanswered plot holes that I'm kind of like, can you fill those in for me?
Yeah.
Because I would also like to know if he, like, if it can change perspective. Like, if maybe we would have saw what if we could have seen what he saw.
Yeah.
And see if he could see what she was, or what was actually going on. Like, did she put the bag on over her head, like her own head?
Yeah.
Like, was she, kind of doing anything?
Now this is not an original thought because I actually read a comment about this on a review. But another thing that I kind of had a question about, which I'm not too mad about,
Right.
This being left unanswered. But at the beginning, where Sergeant Cohen is like, turn around, when she walks in.
Oh, yes.
Is he asking her to turn around
To see if she's
to
real?
see if she's real?
Like, can he also see those things? And then, like, I mean, he seemed pretty spooked and ready to fight.
Yeah. And he was like
that's a good
banging
question.
on he was pissed at something at the beginning.
Yeah, that's so true.
So
I guess maybe, I don't know if maybe they did it on purpose. It could have definitely been something that was not on purpose, right? I actually want to know too now.
Yeah.
It's like, was he in on it knowing, like, does he know, like, that the police station is haunted and that's why nobody wanted to do this fucking shift and that's why they put a rookie to do it?
right.
Or, like, was he just a genuine cop that was just like, I have PTSD?
Right. Yeah.
But I like the idea that maybe he knew what was happening and then he was kind of experiencing some hallucinations or maybe some visions before she got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Love that. Well, now to get into the cast a little bit. The cast list for this movie is a little bit short since a majority of the movie was just one person.
Yeah.
/ like a few side characters
Like
and stuff.
here and there.
But we have Juliana Harkavy. I think that's how you...
Harkavy?
Harkavy. As Jessica. Hank Stone, who's Sergeant Cohen. Joshua Michael,
I think, maybe. It's
as
just
John
spelled-
Michael Payman, a.k.a. the crazy face on the cover.
Yes.
Which, low-key, before I knew that, I thought that was a woman.
Me too.
I thought that was
I
Jessica.
thought it was like a possessed woman of some sort.
She kind of looks like...
But it's a man.
She kind of looks like... he kind of looks like... Oh! The Conjuring.
Oh my gosh, yes, the mother?
Yes.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, he
right?
did look like the mother on that one.
Yeah.
That one was crazy. But I will say because I think it's the pentagram that's like kind of carved out of his face,
Yeah.
right? In the things. Yeah, so it's pretty creepy. But I liked it.
J. Adam LaRose as Panny Belpatrick. Danielle White as Ghost Girl, who
Ghost
that
Girl, I
Monica?
think, was, well, I mean, to be fair, I think there was quite a few in them, but I think there was one that was floating around.
Yeah.
And the one that I think Jessica kept seeing throughout the police station.
Yeah.
And it's either that or she plays the one that's like doing the creepy crawly. Bitch, when she found her under her desk. Oh!
That was...
I died.
Yeah.
I died.
Yeah.
I died on that one.
I was gonna say...
My soul took a bit of a screenshot.
Yeah, 100%.
With that one. I said, ooh!
I will
Ow,
say,
jump scare.
I feel like that's one of the jump scares that I was like, oh, I kind of saw it coming. You know what I mean?
Okay, see, that's the thing. I always notice them because they creep, like, you sort of anticipate a jump scare with a lot of horror scenes. Like, and you know that they're coming. And sometimes they delay them on purpose and whatever. It still gets to me.
Understood.
It's still there.
Understood. I get it.
It's like, you ever react early to a jump scare?
Yeah.
Because you're just anticipating it so hard.
And then finally, we have Randy Molnar as Steve Lauren, which is Jessica's dad.
I'm gonna be real honest.
No one.
No one.
I don't know anyone.
God forgive me.
Hey.
Or not God, but
What does he say? What does she say?
oh my God, I have to look it up.
Kiki Palmer. She's like,
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I don't know who that man is.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing.
I wouldn't know a thing.
I wouldn't know a thing about any of these people.
Unfortunately, I've never seen not one person in this movie and anything else. One, or maybe I have and I just don't recognize any of them. But two, the cast did it. They did what they had to do.
They did.
They got their check and they left.
And they sure
They're like
did.
clock in, clock out.
Yeah.
Good for them.
One last thing that I wanted to add, I mean, it's probably not the last thing,
Right.
but one other thing that I wanted to add about this movie is that I have mixed feelings about a one setting and one
Like when it takes place
Place
in one
just-
setting and in one.
like time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that, but I will say for this movie, I think it did good because the reason why I have mixed feelings about it is because I feel like I can't breathe, you know, like I'm like,
yeah.
okay, let's go outside. Like, let's go somewhere. You know what I mean?
I need like a breakup.
I need
of some sort.
I need something. I need another person that's
Right.
not possessed. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do think that did help this movie just because we felt more like trapped in it.
Okay.
As if we couldn't leave, you know?
Like we felt trapped with her.
Yeah.
And during her shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can vouch for that as well. I'm trying to think of another movie that's also in a sort of one setting. And the only one that I thought about, because you literally said it in your sentence, is Don't Breathe. Have you watched Don't Breathe?
Yeah.
Yeah. That entire movie, the first time I watched it, I'm not joking when I say that I was on the literal edge of my seat because I was just like, I want to get up and I need something.
I need
the
outside
tension in that
air.
มีis so thick and so real.
Yeah.
And for this one, I think it also does well, but I also think because there's a lot of elements going on. Like there's so much of like, I want to figure out what it is that she's watching, what it is, like who died or who's the one that like is haunting, you know,
Right.
this. Whenever she interacts with that one cop, the one that we find out is dead after he turns around and walks away, the entire time that they were talking, I didn't trust him. But
100%.
But I didn't know that like him being dead wasn't really on my mind. So my thing was just like, oh, I was like, he's either in on it and he knows about the hauntings and that's why he's asking. And I was like, or like maybe he just genuinely just wanted to check up on her or like see what's going on. But like him being not real wasn't really on my mind, but I just know I didn't trust him.
I will say this scene where, when was it? I think she leaves the room. I think it's a holding cell after like watching the
homeless man die, or
like watching,
like she puts him in there and then leaves.
No, like the scene where that one cop like shoots himself.
Oh yes,
I love that scene. I think it's a really good scene. It was, I will say, it was like gruesome. I saw it coming.
Yeah.
But I liked it. And I know there's other movies I just can't obviously think at the top of my head, but I love when they do something with an object that's not there. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically he put like his 2 fingers inside of his mouth and he shoots himself.
And then he shoots
and
himself.
like their actual blood comes out. And
yes,
I knew
like
that
if
was
it
gonna
was an
happen.
actual gun, but it wasn't. It was just.
I
see what you mean. I think
that.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to. A scene from a different movie popped in my head at the same time. Oh, in the movie, I don't know which Conjuring it is, but when I think it's the third one, when Lorraine is able, like we go into the scene with her and she like
shoots
it's the beginning scene of a Conjuring movie. I just don't remember which one because it is the case of Amityville Horror.
Yes,
because
I think it's 2.
Is it part 2?
I think it's 2.
I think it is part 2 because I think that's the same one that they go to, like they end up going to Britain or England.
Yeah,
and we see her as the dad who's like shooting his family, and you can like hear the sounds of the gunshot.
And then you look at the mirror.
Yes, it's like him, but it's her. And I think,
and
yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
I see
okay,
what you mean.
I think that's
a vibe.
probably what I was trying to think of.
I love that so much too. I completely forgot about that scene. That one's a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I really like those scenes.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's what I mean. Like not one person do I know off this cast list, which I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
I wish to see them in more things because at least in this genre, they did really well.
I think so too.
I like it a lot. And shout out to the writers too, because I feel like, do you think is it harder to sort of write something that's in one setting? Because I feel like you don't have a lot to work with when it comes to describing maybe a setting. Or is it easier? I don't really know.
I don't know. I want to say it's probably a little bit easier. What's that one? And I'm gonna butcher the actor because I don't remember who it is. It's one of the 3, like maybe 5 token white actors. I'm 88% sure this is the movie I'm thinking about.
88% sure.
88% sure, but it's James Franco, who I guess is considered a token white actor.
Yeah, he's pretty popular.
In 127 Hours.
Oh.
I swear I thought it was Ryan Reynolds. But I guess I'm wrong, unless I'm just thinking of a different movie. But anyway, yeah.
The one setting,
feeling stuck and claustrophobic.
Okay.
I forgot where I was going with this. But anyway.
I was just saying if it would be easier.
Easier to write.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would be easier to maybe write a one setting, one shot sort of thing.
I just feel like for a movie and writing a script, like you're only in one setting. So I feel like you don't have a lot to work with when it comes to, or maybe, I mean, I guess that's where creativity comes into play, right? So, but it's like you're only in the setting of a home or this police station. And so it's just really like, you can throw in a lot of elements of suspense, which I guess could be easier. I was just curious, but I'm just like, shout out to the writers who made this, because I feel like you can maybe easily mess up a one setting type of movie, but I think this one did a really good job. So,
getting into the facts, the first one actually comes from a YouTube comment section.
Love.
I was watching Found Flix's movie review on this movie, and someone commented, his name is Joshua Story, which, cool last name.
That is a cool name.
He commented saying, I worked on this movie.
Ooh.
LOL. Fun fact, the police station that it was filmed at in Central Florida was actually abandoned and supposedly haunted. Ooh. You could almost feel a presence there when walking back into the old holding cells and boiler rooms.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the idea of haunted places and visiting them and seeing if I can have that same feeling, or if I can feel the presence of something else. I honestly can't say that I've visited something that's actually haunted, or that's like famously and like known for being haunted. So I would like to experience it, but I just I'd be scared to experience something, but I also would like to experience something. Yeah. Maybe nothing like possession, but like something enough to be like, ooh. I
will say oh my gosh, one time at my old job, I was bored and I was watching this couple go to the original, like the OG Conjuring house from the first movie, right? in my mind while I was watching it, I was like, I really want to go, but I feel like I'm very sensitive when it comes to like, what's it called? I don't know, just like presents and stuff.
Okay.
As long as I have some holy water in me,
on you.
I guess in me too. I'm gonna take a shot, and stuff like that. Like I'll feel maybe a little bit better. But I will say, while I was watching that movie, that video on YouTube at work,
Yeah.
a bag fell, and I was the only one there. No one walked in. Like it was, I was like, hell no, and I clicked
immediately turn off.
pause. And I turned my phone off, and I was like, all right.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm good.
I like the feeling of eeriness and having to experience it personally. So I would like to visit.
I think it's fun because my fight or flight turns on, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm ready. Like, come at me, ghosts. It's me, your boy.
It's me, your boy.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
I would. I like that though. Like I feel like every time we get a story of like a horror film being filmed and something that's supposedly haunted is always interesting because then I'm like, I wonder if a lot of the scenes were like actors actually being like, I'm a little spooked.
Yeah. And I know what you and I both think about this, and obviously it's open to interpretation and whatever you believe, but I don't fuck with demons. I don't fuck with spirits.
Either.
Listen, yeah. I was going to get into something a little bit more, but I was like, no.
It's a whole can of
It's a
worms
whole
that we
thing.
can save for when we watch The Exorcist.
Right.
Because that right there,
Yeah.
which they're actually remaking it for this year.
Uh,
At the end, I think it's like around Halloween time that it's supposed to come out.
Oh.
And I think they're remaking the 1970s like Exorcist. Now, The Exorcist is a very loved movie. And it is what I think would be considered a classic and something that people are like, yes.
I know.
So
I just know that people are ready to bash on it.
Oh, 100%.
and me too.
Yeah, and me too. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, but
Movie terrifies me, but I'm
yeah.
gonna see. But anyway, I was just thinking about that. So I like when horror films are filmed
yeah,
in haunted places.
yeah,
It gives something a more
more like a real,
authentic feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
we love it.
So yeah, I thought that was a little fun fact.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the letters on the ceiling that's spelled SOW. So, I guess, or sow, is a female pig. Cops are referred to as pigs, and she is a female cop.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I feel like there was a lot going on, but I still didn't understand what the whole point of the family was.
Same.
The cult.
Yeah,
But they felt very strongly about co-ops.
they sure did.
As they should. But I was
100%.
still very like, huh?
Yeah, it was an experience.
Yeah, no, I'm still a little confused with that. I think that maybe my main complaint is that there's just a few plot holes that I still am questioning, but I mean, I'm not hating on it.
Right.
So,
Would I watch it again? Yes.
yeah, I would too. I would watch it to maybe catch on what I
100,
didn't watch
yeah.
the first time, 100%. And then maybe to show it to someone else at the same time and being like,
Yeah.
can you help me out here?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Now, moving along with the episode a little bit more, I think it's safe to say to play a little. Would you rather? Yeah. So, for this movie, would you rather work the night shift at a haunted police station possessed by a cult, like Jessica did, or a haunted hospital?
Like change the setting.
Yeah, change the setting a little bit.
I will say there's something really creepy and eerie about hospitals, more so because I feel hospitals see a lot more death
Right.
than police stations. I also heard somewhere that I don't know if it's 100% true, which I would kind of deem it, like, it would make sense. But I heard a quote somewhere saying that the walls of hospitals hear more prayers than a church.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That was deep.
creepy,
Yes.
creepy vibes.
I will say hospitals do see more death, but I think police stations see more evil.
Ooh.
If that kind of
okay.
makes any maybe sense. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in order to be haunted, though, people have to, I assume, die.
Right. And
I'm like, I don't know how many people on a regular die at a police station.
I don't doubt that there's a lot.
Quite a few, I assume.
Yeah.
That's not that it's hard, but I think it's kind of like they're both creepy.
They are both creepy, but
especially if they're abandoned.
My thing is like a hospital is bigger. So more room for more ghosts.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And like police station, they're a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
So you may know your way out a little bit easier. But I don't know. What Jessica kind of went through was kind of scary.
It was 100% scary. I don't doubt that. I feel like either setting you're fucked. So it really just depends on how maybe often or what you're trying to encounter. If you're trying to encounter anything at all. I don't know, because it kind of depends. Now, do I want to suffer as much as she did at a police station where the space is minimal and there's only so many places to go? Also, my question is, why didn't she just go and wait in her car? I feel like that's one of the things that would have made me like, because she was able to go in and out of the police station, at least at first. Because there was at one point where she got locked in and she wasn't able to go out anymore. But there was a point in time where she was able to open the doors to the police station and she had already encountered a few spooks by then. That would have been enough for me to be like, I'm going to do the rest of the shift in my car.
And, well, here's the thing. Me, personally, if I walk into that shift and the only other person in there yells at me and is like, turn around, I'm leaving. I'm
turning around, go back to my car.
Yeah. I'm turning around.
Because what's got you so spooked?
And I'm walking away. And also, why do you want me as a woman to turn around? I did get really weird vibes from him. Like, when he said that, I was like...
He was also a little short, though.
He was a little short.
He was a little man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. See, for spook reasons and for deeming it as a last shift, like, at this specific place, whether it's a hospital or a police station, I would... For the sake of the movie, I want to choose the police station because I would like to know, but I also don't want...
You don't want to fuck around and find out.
No. And I feel like because a hospital is so much bigger,
and
I can go to like a corner or like an area.
Yeah.
That's a little
less. And I was going to say, like, the souls, I guess, that are haunting the hospitals are going to be a little bit more pure and innocent.
I was going to say, because one, unfortunately, it's so sad, but like children also die at hospitals.
But children are also creepy.
Children are creepy because the minute I hear them giggling and running around and then I'm like, yee! So there is something also creepy about children. But I will say, if you have the fifth sense of knowing what's a good spirit and what's a bad spirit, I feel like you'd feel a lot more comfortable at a hospital.
Right.
Versus, like, I mean, like you said, like at a police station where most of the time a lot of it is just evil. I'm going to choose a hospital.
Okay.
Because I feel like I would be able to get through my shift even with experiencing hallucinations a little bit, not easier, but, well, yeah, easier compared to like a haunted police station. Because I don't know what happens at a police station.
Yeah, same. Yeah. My heart wants to say hospital, so I'm going to say hospital too.
I know, mine too.
And the only reason why I was kind of hesitant is because the police station sounds fun, but there's so many fucked up things that happen at a police station that I'm like,
nah, I don't want to.
Do I really want to fuck around and find out? Like, do I
might fuck around, but I really don't want to find out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm going to go with what I know.
And just
go with the hospital. Do a haunted, a last shift at a closed down hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So moving on a little bit. So now we are at the tail end of our episode. So we are now going to rate this movie. Now, this is a horror movie, so we are going to be using both of our scales, scary and satisfactory. Just because a horror movie is good does not always mean it's scary, and vice versa. So, Jessica, what would you rate this movie on your scary and your satisfactory scale?
Scary scale. Again, there were obviously moments where I was like, damn.
Jump scale.
Ooh, ow. Jump scare. I'm gonna give it like a good 7. A good 7. 6.5, 7. And then satisfactory, again, didn't hate it. 7. 6, 7. And again, this is like not like, this isn't me bashing it. It's just, again, like you mentioned earlier, there are a few unanswered questions. I do think Juliana did a great job acting wise. I really liked the plot.
I did too.
I wish
the plot
it was a
itself
little
to the
bit
movie was good.
more easy to comprehend.
Yeah, because I was still a little
but I
confuzzled.
got the gist of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I kind of got what they were trying to imply.
Yeah.
And I liked the way that it was shot. I liked the way it was written, acted, all of that. So yeah, a good 7 out of 10.
I agree. Both my scales are actually both a 7 out of 10. Scary wise, I mean, again, it has the eeriness, it has the creepiness. I think the prosthetics of like towards the end of everyone that we see is really scary. So I appreciate that and I liked it. And the overall psychological thriller part of this was very anxiety driven, which what horror movie doesn't. And Satisfactory is also a 7. It's a good movie, but it is something that I think I would have to watch again and let it settle in and maybe discuss it a little bit more to kind of see what I didn't get. Not my top 5, questioning my top 10, but I agree. It's a good out of 7. It's a good movie if you want to know what horror is like, but you don't want to dive into like the really disturbing,
like sinister,
yeah,
or
like
insidious.
100% like scary stuff. So it's a good one. I like it. Overall, it's a good movie. Just not my fave.
Right.
But that's all right.
That's
not
okay.
not every movie will be a good one. So.
Well, I think we are getting close to the end. Thanks again. We always say this, can't stress it enough. Thanks again to everyone listening. And if you're a new horror freak joining us for the first time, welcome. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. And we hope that you stay as well.
Thank you.
Feel free to follow us on social media. We will have everything linked in the description of the episode. And I think Monica's going to talk on this a little bit more, but we're really hoping to reach 100 this year. I personally, I was a little bit hesitant because I don't know. I always think about the negatives, but guess what? We actually surpassed 100 and we are now at over 300.
We are now over 300. I really do think we'll at least hit definitely a lot more by summer. So that like really excites me. But yeah, I mean, we're super excited to say that we will be announcing our winner for the giveaway later this evening. If you're listening to this episode a little earlier in the day, unless you're listening to the day after or whenever you're listening to this episode. But we are announcing our winner for our giveaway today on the 18th, and we are super excited to say that, and we appreciate everyone who participated, and thank you to Elm Street Toys who was generous enough to help us give back to you horror freaks. If you haven't already checked them out, check out their shop in Allen, Texas, and then their website as well. So they have a lot of cool stuff, but thank you guys again. We can't stress enough how cool it is to get to know a lot more horror freaks like ourselves. Yeah, I think it's just really cool that we had the opportunity to do this, and we really hope to do this a lot more in the future when we get a lot more, when our community grows a lot bigger. So we're excited. But enough sappy stuff. Now, if you enjoyed or liked today's episode, make sure you tune in to next week's episode, which will be Evil Dead Rise, which is the new movie that's coming out. It hasn't come out yet, but we're excited.
We're.
I don't want to say I have high hopes, but I have hopes.
We have hopes and aspirations.
I have hopes and aspirations for this movie that I hope that they either meet or kind of surpass. It already has a rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is at like 96.
Oh, wow.
But I don't trust it. One, because it's like 45 like reviews on it so far, and movies on Rotten Tomatoes before they come out, like big movies like this, always start off at a really high rating, and then throughout time, once it comes out, they tend to go back down. So right now it has a good rating, but we're going to have to see about that. But I'm excited.
Me too.
I like the Evil Dead movies. I haven't seen them in a while, so I might refresh my brain a bit, and I might watch the original and then the remake.
Well, I think that concludes this episode. Thanks again for listening. We've been your hosts, Jessica
and Monica.
Stay safe
and stay spooky.
Oof, that was scary. I can't wait to come back next week.